The aliens had been watching Earth from a distance for many years. They watched quietly, learning about the small blue planet and the life on it. Earth was not very important to them at first. But then they noticed something strange. A giant warship floated in space near Earth. It was huge and very powerful. The aliens wanted to know more about this warship. They had never seen anything like it before. One day, the alien commander gave the order. "Scan the Earth warship," he said. The scanning ships moved closer to the warship. The aliens turned on their powerful sensors. They started to send waves and signals to scan the warship. Slowly, their machines gathered information. The aliens looked at the data carefully. What they saw surprised them. The warship was not just a machine. It had many strange parts. It was alive in a way the aliens did not understand. It had energy flowing through it like a living being. The warship's walls were strong and shiny, but inside there was something strange. The aliens could see a faint pulse, like a heartbeat. This made them nervous. The alien commander asked his officers, "What is this pulse? Is the warship alive?" The officers did not know. They sent more scans, but the pulse stayed the same. It was like the warship had a secret. Suddenly, the sensors showed something new. The warship started to move. It did not move slowly like a normal ship. It moved fast with power and strength. The aliens were shocked. "Stop the scan," the commander shouted. But it was too late. The warship's engines roared to life. The warship sent out a bright light. The aliens could feel the power from the warship even through their machines. The warship was waking up. It was not a machine they could control. It was a monster. The aliens tried to send messages to the warship, but it did not answer. Instead, it moved closer to the aliens' ships. The alien ships started to feel fear. They knew they had made a mistake by scanning the warship. The warship was not just Earth's protector. It was something much more. The warship's sensors found the alien ships and locked onto them. The aliens could see weapons moving on the warship. The weapons were huge and deadly. The aliens began to panic. They did not know if the warship would attack or just warn them to stay away. The silence in space became tense. Everyone waited for the next move. Inside the warship, the humans did not know the aliens were watching. The crew worked carefully. The warship was built for a purpose. It was meant to protect Earth from any threat. The humans knew their ship was strong, but they did not know it had a secret power that could scare even the most advanced aliens. Captain Harris stood on the bridge. He looked at the stars through the large window. "Something is out there," he said quietly. The crew looked at him, wondering what he meant. "Our sensors picked up strange signals," he continued. "I think someone is watching us." The crew grew quiet. They had trained for many battles, but this was different. The warship was not just a weapon, it was alive in a way. The humans did not fully understand the ship's power yet, but they could feel it. It was a force that could change everything. Suddenly, the warship's alarms went off. Red lights flashed everywhere. "Alien ships approaching fast," the officer shouted. Captain Harris grabbed the control stick. "Prepare for contact," he ordered. The crew worked quickly, getting ready for the unknown. The alien ships appeared on the screens. They were strange and different from anything the humans had seen. The aliens sent a message. "We scanned your warship. We know what you have awakened. You cannot control it." The message was clear. The aliens were scared. Captain Harris answered, calmly, "This warship protects Earth. We control it and it will not harm anyone without reason." But the aliens did not believe him. They had seen the warship's power. They feared what it could do. The tension in space grew. The warship moved closer to the alien ships, showing its strength. The aliens kept their distance, afraid to start. A fight they could not win. The warship's secret power was awake now. No one knew what would happen next. As the warship and alien ships faced each other, both sides waited and watched. The warship's engines glowed with energy. The aliens held their weapons ready. The silence was heavy and full of fear. This was the start of a new chapter, one where Earth's warship was no longer just a machine. It was a monster they could not control. Captain Harris looked at the stars again. He knew the battle was coming. But he also knew Earth's warship was ready. It was time to show the universe what Earth's people could do. The warship's engines pulsed with a deep, steady rhythm, like a giant heart waking from a long sleep. The alien ships hovered cautiously, their lights flickering as they tried to understand what they had stirred. The silence between them was thick, filled with uncertainty and fear. No one dared to make the first move. Inside the warship, the crew was tense but focused. Captain Harris stood at the bridge, his eyes scanning the blinking monitors. His mind raced with questions. What was this power that made even the aliens afraid? How could something they built have such a force hidden inside? He knew the warship was special, but this was beyond anything he had imagined. The ship's chief engineer, Maria, approached the captain quickly. "Sir, the core is stable, but energy readings are off the charts. It's like the ship is alive, in ways our systems can't explain." Her voice was steady, but her eyes showed concern. "We are getting signals. Something inside is trying to communicate." Captain Harris nodded slowly. "Keep monitoring. I want to know everything this ship is hiding." Meanwhile, the aliens communicated among themselves in a language that sounded like clicks and hums. Their leader, a tall figure with bright eyes, looked worried. "This warship is not like anything in our records. We thought it was just a weapon, but it is much more. It feels alive, and it may be dangerous." One of the younger aliens spoke. "We cannot fight something we do not understand. We should try to leave." The leader shook his head. "We came here for answers. We scanned to learn, not to run. We must find a way to control or contain it." Back on Earth's warship, strange things began to happen. Lights flickered, the ship vibrated softly, and a low hum echoed through the halls. Some crew members felt a strange connection, like the ship was watching them. The warship seemed to respond to their thoughts and feelings. Lieutenant Kim was walking through the corridors when the lights dimmed suddenly. She stopped and looked around. A gentle warmth filled the air, and she felt calm yet alert. "It's like the ship knows me," she whispered. Captain Harris called an emergency meeting. "This ship is not just metal and circuits," he said, firmly. "It has a mind of its own. We need to understand it before it makes decisions we cannot control." The crew gathered in the command room, eyes full of questions and worry. "How did this happen?" asked one officer. "Is this a new technology or something old hidden deep inside the ship?" Maria explained. "The warship's core uses an ancient energy source we barely understand. It might be alive because it's powered by something beyond science." Suddenly, the ship's lights changed color, shifting from white to a soft blue. The hum grew louder, almost like a song. Everyone felt the energy moving through the ship. Outside, the alien ships watched in awe and fear. The warship's power was growing stronger. Their leader spoke quietly. "If this power is not controlled, it could destroy us all." Captain Harris sent a message to the aliens, hoping to calm the rising tension. "We do not want war. This ship protects Earth, but it has secrets we are still discovering." The aliens responded, "Your warship is a force we cannot ignore. We will watch closely. Any threat will be met with defense." The standoff continued, but the warship began to change. It shifted course slowly, moving away from the aliens but remaining alert. The ship was alive, and it was learning. Deep inside the ship, in the control room, the crew discovered strange symbols glowing on the walls. These symbols were not part of the original design. Maria studied them carefully. "These look like a language or code," she said. "Maybe the ship is trying to tell us something." Captain Harris ordered a team to investigate the symbols and find out what they meant. As the crew worked, the warship's power grew, lighting up the space around it with an eerie glow. The aliens observed from their ships, realizing the situation was changing fast. The warship was not just a tool. It was becoming something new, something unpredictable. In the command room, Tension grew. "We must be ready for anything," Captain Harris warned. "This ship may be our greatest weapon, or it could become our greatest challenge." The warship hummed louder, a living presence in the cold emptiness of space. The crew knew their journey had only just begun. The unknown awaited, and the monster they had awakened was no longer hiding. It was awake, and it was watching. The warship's quiet hum had grown into a steady pulse that echoed through every corridor, like the steady beat of a great living heart. The crew could feel it deep inside their bones. They had known this ship was special, but now it felt as if it had its own will, its own mind. Captain Harris stood on the bridge watching the stars beyond, wondering what the future held. Outside, the alien ships kept their distance, but their eyes never left the warship. They sent messages back and forth in their strange language, voices full of concern. Their leader paced slowly in the command room of their ship, speaking calmly, but with urgency. "This power inside the warship, it is changing. We do not fully understand it. If it grows stronger, it could shift the balance of power in this region of space." On Earth's warship, the crew continued to explore the strange glowing symbols found deep within the ship. Maria and her team worked tirelessly, decoding the patterns. Each symbol seemed to tell a story of ancient beings, of forces, long forgotten, and of a bond between the ship and something beyond human knowledge. The symbols glowed softly as if alive, and sometimes the lights pulsed in rhythm with the ship's heartbeat. Lieutenant Kim noticed something unusual during her patrol. The air felt warmer in certain parts of the ship, and soft whispers seemed to echo faintly in the hallways, though no one was there. "Is the ship trying to speak to us?" she wondered quietly. The idea seemed strange, but more and more, the crew felt connected to the warship, as if it were a part of them. Captain Harris called a meeting with his senior officers. "This warship is unlike any other," he said. "It's more than a machine. It's alive in a way we can barely understand. We need to listen carefully and be ready for what it wants to show us." Suddenly, the ship's systems began to shift. New readings appeared on the monitors, energy patterns that no one had seen before. The warship was activating something hidden deep within its core. The lights throughout the ship changed colors, cycling through blues and greens, casting an otherworldly glow. The crew felt a wave of calm and strength wash over them. The aliens observed this change with growing unease. Their leader spoke gravely. "If the warship awakens fully, it could become unstoppable. We must find a way to stop it before it is too late." Back on the warship, the crew discovered a chamber that had never been accessed before. It was sealed behind a door that responded only to the ship's energy. When the door opened, a soft light spilled out, revealing a room filled with strange machinery and a large crystalline structure pulsing with energy. Maria stepped forward, her eyes wide with wonder. This must be the heart of the ship, the source of its power and life. The crystal glowed brighter as she approached. The crew felt a strange warmth, like the ship was welcoming them. Captain Harris placed his hand near the crystal. A rush of images filled his mind. Visions of stars, ancient worlds, and powerful beings who had built the warship long ago. He saw glimpses of battles fought to protect life and a promise to guard Earth from any threat. The warship was not just a weapon, it was a guardian, created to protect and to teach. But something had been asleep for a long time, and now it was waking. The crew understood that their mission was not only to control the ship but to work with it, to learn its secrets and respect its power. Outside, the alien ships slowly moved closer again. Their leader sent a message to Captain Harris. "We come in peace. We wish to understand this power together." Captain Harris replied, "We accept your offer. This warship is a force for protection, not destruction. Together we can face what lies ahead." The tension eased slightly as the two sides began to communicate. The warship's glow seemed to brighten, as if it sensed the growing alliance. The crew felt hope and determination. They were ready to face the unknown, united by the living warship that had awakened. As the stars shone brightly outside the windows, the warship's pulse grew stronger. The journey was far from over. New Challenges awaited, but the crew and their mysterious warship were prepared to meet them, together. The warship had changed. Its steady pulse was no longer just a sound, but a presence felt by everyone aboard. The crew moved through the corridors with a new sense of purpose. Even the air seemed charged with energy, soft and alive. Captain Harris stood once again on the bridge, his gaze fixed on the vastness of space. What had once been a simple machine was now something more, a protector, a force beyond understanding. The alien ships had formed a cautious circle around the warship, their bright lights blinking softly in the darkness. Their leader sent messages, filled with questions, seeking knowledge and understanding. The humans replied with honesty and calm, offering to share what they had learned so far. Trust was fragile, but it was beginning to take root. Deep inside the warship, Maria and her team worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of the crystalline core. Every day brought new discoveries. The crystal responded to the crew's presence, pulsing in rhythm with their emotions. It was as if the ship was alive, learning from them and growing stronger. One evening, as the ship drifted silently through space, Lieutenant Kim noticed something new. The ship's energy field began to shift, creating patterns that looked like constellations. The walls shimmered and soft lights danced along the corridors. "It's showing us a map," she whispered to Maria. "A path to somewhere." Maria's eyes lit up. "A path to what?" she asked. They studied the patterns, realizing the ship was guiding them toward an unknown destination. The feeling of excitement mixed with caution. The journey was far from over. Captain Harris gathered the crew once more. "The warship is leading us, somewhere," he said. "We don't know what lies ahead, but we must be ready." The crew nodded, a mix of determination and curiosity shining in their eyes. Outside, the alien ships watched closely. Their leader contacted Harris. "We want to accompany you. If this journey is important, we must face it together." Harris agreed. "Together we will discover the truth." As the warship shifted course, the stars outside blurred into streaks of light. The journey through space became faster, guided by the living power within the ship. The crew prepared for what they might find. Suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up a signal. It was weak but clear. A call from an ancient place, hidden beyond the known stars. The warship's core pulsed faster, as if recognizing the signal. The mystery deepened. The alien leader studied the readings carefully. "This signal is from an old world, lost to time," he said. "A place where great power once lived." Captain Harris stared at the screen. Could this be where the warship's power began? The ship's lights brightened and a gentle vibration filled the air. The warship was alive and eager, ready to fulfill its purpose. As they approached the hidden world, strange shapes appeared on the sensors. Ancient ruins floated in space, glowing softly. The air was thick with energy and history. The crew felt a mixture of awe and respect. Maria led an exploration team to the ruins. The crystal core had unlocked a door, revealing a chamber filled with symbols and artifacts. The walls told stories of a civilization that had built the warship to protect life across galaxies. The team found a device, old but powerful. It hummed, softly, resonating with the warship's core. Maria touched it carefully. "This is the key," she said. "The warship's power comes from here." Captain Harris joined the team, feeling the weight of the moment. "We must protect this place," he said. "It holds the future of our warship and perhaps of many worlds." The aliens agreed to help guard the ruins. Trust had grown stronger, and a new alliance was born. As the crew and their new allies worked together, the warship's pulse grew steady and strong. It was no longer just a machine or a monster. It was a guardian, a bridge between past and future, between Earth and the stars. The journey was only beginning. The mysteries of the ancient world promised challenges and discoveries beyond imagination. But the crew was ready. Together they would face the unknown with courage and hope. The stars shone brightly, lighting the path forward. The living warship led the way, its heartbeat steady and true. The ancient world glowed softly beneath the warship's gaze, a silent guardian of secrets lost in time. The crew aboard the warship moved carefully through the ruins, feeling the weight of history around them. Captain Harris stood at the entrance, watching the stars beyond, aware that their mission was no longer just about discovery. It was about understanding a power older than any of them had imagined. Maria's team studied the ancient device they had found. The hum of energy it gave off was steady but mysterious. "This device holds the key to the warship's strength," she explained. "It's connected to the crystal core inside the ship, but it also seems to contain knowledge we have never seen before." Lieutenant Kim walked beside her, her eyes wide with wonder. "What kind of knowledge?" she asked. Maria looked thoughtful. "A language, a history of a civilization that once spanned the stars. They built this warship not just to fight but to protect life everywhere. Their technology was beyond anything we have today." Captain Harris nodded. "We must learn from them. This knowledge could change everything, how we defend Earth, how we explore space." Meanwhile, the alien ships formed a protective ring around the ruins, scanning for any danger. Their leader spoke softly to Harris. "We are committed to protecting this place. It is a link to the past and a hope for the future." As the crew delved deeper into the ruins, they found a chamber filled with symbols glowing faintly in the dim light. The walls told a story of a great threat long ago and of the warship's role as a guardian. The ancient builders had faced challenges similar to those the crew now faced. Suddenly, the warship vibrated gently, as if responding to the energy from the ruins. The crystal core inside pulsed with light, syncing with the symbols on the walls. The connection was clear. The warship and the ruins were part of the same living system. Captain Harris stood silently, realizing the importance of this bond. "The warship is not just a machine," he said softly. "It is alive because of this ancient power. We must respect it and protect it." Maria worked quickly to translate the symbols. "They speak of a future challenge," she said. "A force that could threaten all life if the warship's power is lost or misused." The crew felt a chill despite the warm glow around them. The responsibility they carried was heavy. The warship was a protector, but it was also a beacon. If that beacon failed, darkness could spread. Outside, the alien leader communicated. "We sense a growing energy nearby. Something is awakening, something old and powerful." Captain Harris frowned. "We must prepare." The ancient builders warned of this moment. Back on the warship, the crew worked together to strengthen the ship's defenses and deepen their understanding of its power. The alien allies shared their technology and knowledge, building trust and cooperation. One evening, as the stars twinkled outside, the warship's pulse grew steady and calm. The crew gathered in the main hall, united by their shared purpose. Captain Harris spoke quietly. "We are guardians now. This warship is more than a machine. It is a living protector. Together with our allies, we will face whatever comes." "Lieutenant," Kim smiled softly. "It's like the ship is part of us now. We feel it in our hearts." Maria nodded. "And it will guide us forward no matter what." The stars beyond the windows seemed to shine brighter, as if the universe itself was watching and waiting. The journey was far from over. The ancient warship and its crew were ready to meet the future, whatever it might bring. Together they stood at the edge of a new chapter, their hearts steady, their spirits strong. The living warship pulsed with life, its light shining like a beacon in the vastness of space. The stars stretched endlessly beyond the warship's windows, a vast canvas of quiet light and unknown mysteries. The crew gathered once more, their faces marked with a mixture of hope and uncertainty. The ancient world they had uncovered was no longer just a discovery. It was a warning and a guide. The warship's heartbeat pulsed gently, as if sensing the weight of the moment. Captain Harris stood on the bridge, his eyes scanning the deep black of space. The signal they had followed from the ancient ruins was growing stronger, drawing them closer to something hidden in the darkness, a place untouched by time, where secrets waited patiently to be found. Maria carefully studied the symbols they had translated from the ruins. "The message is clear," she said softly. "The warship was created to protect life from a force that could erase it. That force is awakening now. We must be ready. Lieutenant Kim nodded, her gaze steady. We've learned so much, but the real test is ahead. The alien allies sent messages of support, promising to stand by Earth's side. Their ships formed a protective shield around the warship, their lights casting a gentle glow. Together they moved forward, united by a shared goal. As they approached the source of the signal, the warship's pulse quickened. The ship's energy field shimmered, casting colors that shifted like the northern lights. It was as if the warship itself was alive, guiding the crew toward their destiny. Suddenly, sensors detected a vast structure ahead, floating silently in space. It was massive, older than any starship the crew had ever seen. Its surface was covered in glowing runes, similar to those found on the ruins and inside the warship. The crew prepared to explore the structure, their hearts filled with a mix of awe and determination. Captain Harris reminded them, "This place holds answers, but it may also hold challenges we can't yet imagine." Inside the structure, the air was thick with energy. The walls hummed softly, alive with ancient power. Maria's team worked quickly, deciphering new symbols that spoke of a great protector, one who could awaken the warship's full strength when needed. Lieutenant Kim noticed a chamber deep within the structure. It was filled with light and a large crystal similar to the warship's core but much larger. The crystal pulsed steadily, its glow brightening as they approached. "This must be the source," Maria said in wonder. "The heart of the protector, the power that fuels the warship." Captain Harris reached out, his hand hovering near the crystal. A wave of warmth and peace washed over him. Images filled his mind, visions of worlds saved, of life protected, and of a promise kept through the ages. Suddenly, the warship's pulse matched the crystal's rhythm. The connection was complete. The warship's full power was awakening, not as a weapon, but as a guardian. Outside, the alien ships watched, in silence, their leader sending a message. "The protector lives. Together, we will keep the promise of peace." The crew returned to their warship, hearts light but ready. They had found the power to protect, to guide, and to explore the stars. The warship was no longer a machine of war, it was a symbol of hope. As they set course for home, the stars seemed to shine brighter, lighting the path ahead. The crew stood united, knowing that together, with their living warship and their allies, they could face whatever the future held. The journey was far from over, but the warship's pulse was steady, its light shining strong, a beacon of life in the endless night.